So a really great way to boost the color of an image, the saturation of an image in a smarter way, apart from choosing blend modes and things like that, which also work. One really direct way is with a saturation mask, meaning that we create a mask that favors the saturated color or favors the less saturated color, allowing us to then boost or modify or do anything really on any layer with the saturation of an image. Meaning, for example, like on this shot, that I could boost the color more where there's already saturation. Her outfit, her skin, and the foliage will have a stronger boost and less of a boost on the more neutral colors like the curtains and the very, very light brown of the wood. Now, there's, again, different ways to approach it, but sometimes the saturation mask is not only good for creative color boosting and things, but it's a good way, for example, to color grade. Color grading with saturation mask can be really cool because maybe you don't want to apply too much color to more neutral areas. There are so many different reasons why a saturation mask, can be great. Now, you may or may not have heard of a method of creating a saturation mask as follows. I've duplicated the background layer. I'm going to go to Filter. And I'm going to go to HSB, HSL, and I'm going to go from RGB to HSB. Doesn't entirely matter if we choose B or L because we need the S. We hit OK. It does a little process. Maybe I should actually hit OK. There we go. And now if we go to our channels, if they're not open, go to Windows, Channels. Okay. And when you go to the green channel, this is in fact the saturation map. Couple of things you should know. One, we have to extract the saturation mask out of here if we want to use it. Totally doable, lots of different ways. But before we use it, let me make this clear. Using the HSB HSL filter, we are extracting saturation with both chroma and luma information. Now, that doesn't mean anything to you. Please, by all means, check out the videos we have on this channel about chroma and luma separation, about focusing just on luminosity and color, chroma and luma, right? Now, is a saturation mask that includes luma data useless? No. However, it can give us some false positives. Let me explain why. I'm going to go ahead and extract this one out of here, and I'm going to put it on a new document. Okay. So this is our saturation mask. We're just going to leave it there for now for reference reasons, okay? Now, we're going to go back here and go back to RGB, and we're going to run our filter backwards now to get back. I could also just, revert, but we're going to run it backwards and get back to normal. Okay, there is a way, or several ways actually, to get a saturation mask that does not include luma information. Okay, now one way to do it that's really convenient is using your selective color adjustment layer. Okay, couple things here. First of all, most of the time when we're using selective color, most of us are used to having it on relative. Okay, that's basically the layman way of approaching what that means is that the effects of all your color changes are going to be less intense. Absolute is exactly what it sounds like. Absolute. Meaning, if I were to take, for example, the whites and add 100% black, you see what we get. Everything that's considered white or a bright luminosity is going to get turned into black because I'm adding 100% black. That's on absolute. Now, we can continue this process, okay? So let's go to neutrals and blacks, okay? And now, on magentas, we take the blacks out completely. On blues, we take the blacks out completely. Cyans, oops, I missed it. Cyans, we take the blacks out completely. We keep this process going with all the colors. Take out all of it. And that is a saturation mask. And if you look at the difference between that saturation mask and this one, okay, this is the one we got from the HSB HSL filter, and this is the one that we did with this method. This is a saturation mask done only with chroma information, okay? As you can see by the one with luma information, there's a lot more intensity. The luminosity data is not necessarily ruining things. It's just read a little bit differently, okay? But it creates way too much of an intense representation of what the saturation actually is, all right? And as you can see, the green foliage is really electric in terms of saturation. It shouldn't be that strong. If we look at our image, it really isn't that strong, okay? But the luminosity data gives a lot of false positives. Also, our neutrals, our curtains are ever so slightly selected, right? And definitely on her, which she's relatively muted, there's color there, don't get me wrong, but it's relatively muted. With all that luma data, it gives a false positive. So a saturation mask with only chroma data generally has a more pleasing result. So for example, I can hit Option Command or Alt Control 2 and get a selection of the luminosity that I'm seeing. In other words, I've now created a selection with the mask that I'm looking at. Very quickly, I can turn off selective color and then choose something else. Let's go to hue and saturation. Okay, now I've got hue and saturation with a saturation mask. If I increase it, as you can see, I'm boosting color only in a nice gentle area of where the saturation already exists, which is, of course, like I said, one use of a saturation mask. Now, the good news is that if you decide to go for this method, it looked a little tedious, right? Having to slide all the sliders over, make the whites, neutrals, and blacks at maximum black, and then all the colors at negative 100% black. However, you can take this and immediately save a preset if you want a selective color, which I have done. So, for example, if I bring out a brand new selective color, I can go to Sat Mask C, Chroma. Boom, and I've got my chroma mask, okay? My chroma saturation mask, I should say, right? Okay, so that's a really great method to do it. You can also program that into an action, which we do have in some of our action sets, where it does the whole process, deletes the unnecessary layers, and you end up with a selection of just chroma saturation. It's very, very powerful, and I think having these available to you it's a very powerful thing in terms of boosting color, especially when there's a lot of different varying type of saturation on an image, or you have a spot color that's really strong and amongst a bunch of neutrals. It's a good way. But a lot of times saturation masks have, in the past, frustrated me a little bit because of the false positive. A chroma saturation mask, it's a little more accurate, a little more blended, and to me, gets a lot more pleasing result. Like I said, for example, let me just select that again, and then we're going to come here and go to, oh, I don't even know. Let's go to color balance, okay? And I have saturation selected. So now when I play around with color balance, whatever I do playing around with color balance, even on highlights or whatever the case may be, let's go to the shadows and see what we can play with. All right, every change that we do here now is only affected in the saturated areas, and that creates a different look. Now, how much of a difference? Let's turn off the mask temporarily. As you can see, that is a mess. But now we can roll in this really strong color, perhaps with color balance, perhaps with anything else, okay? And we're only gonna grade our chroma saturation, which is a kind of like a double mask, if you will. It's chroma, but it's also focused on saturation. So again, keep that in mind. Selective color, save you a preset if you want, but just take every single one of the color options, the 6 of them, down to negative 100. Black, and then take white, neutrals, and blacks to positive 100, and there is your chroma saturation mask.